Ladles and jelly spoons, welcome back to Badgerworks. Today, this. Yes, we are continuing with the Land Rover build, which we never got finished last time. So, yeah, let's get on with it. Right, so we're going to start with the interior. There's a couple of decals to go in there. But before we do that, I just want to give it a very light dry brush with this deck tan. And I'm going to do the whole of the inside, the seats and everything, just to give it some highlights. Oh, my daughter's here. Say hello, Katie.
Hello, Katie.
What are you up to, child? What are you up to?
Are those gloves going back, or do I just have to deal with them?
Well, it'd be easier if you could deal with them.
Okay.
Why?
Well, I was just wondering, because if I just have to deal with them, then I was probably going to go wear them, break them.
Well, if you want to wear them, you can wear them. They'll probably stretch a bit after a while anyway.
So when I have to cut my hand because it's gotten stuck in a glove, I'll blame you.
Yeah, why not?
Bye.
Anyway, yes, we bought her some gloves for one of her projects, and they're a touch on the small side, but it's fine. It's not like she's going to be wearing them every day. So yes, let's just give this a very light going over with this. And I say we don't want to go mad with this. We just want to give it a very light hit, just to pick up some of the edges and things, to make it kind of look like the sun's or the light is shining on it, you know. And to pick out some of these details. I mean, to be fair to Airfix, they have seemingly put quite a lot of effort into this, so it only seems fair to, you know, let people actually see it. So just like that, you see, just a little touch here and there. I think that'll probably do for that, actually. And we're also going to do the seats, and again, this is just to kind of make them look a bit more like vinyl. So we'll just hit around the edges a little bit, just to give them a little bit of a highlight. Again, like the sun is, or light is reflecting off of them. So it doesn't need a lot. Just kind of like that. And it also gives them a bit of a, you know, distinction from the black bulkhead as well. And we'll do the seat pads as well for the same reason. Just like that, you see. Go a bit heavier on the driver's seat, just to make it look like someone's had their bum on it. There we go. And also, just for the lols, we'll do the inside of the door panels as well, just to pick up some of this detail on the handle and whatnot. Again, you won't be able to actually see any of this when it goes together, I don't think, but you know, I know it's there. There we go, just like that. Right, moving on. Right, time for some decals now. So there are 3 that go on the interior. This one, and the 2 gauges, and there's also this little warning panel that goes on down here. So we'll put these on. If I can find my scissors, there they are. So I've got my Mr. Mark setter as normal, and I've got my little air wick wax burner over there with some warm water in it. And we'll cut these out and pop them on. we'll do the other ones, the number plates and whatnot later. Alright, let's start with this one. Alright, I'll turn this around this way, so hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Hopefully I'll be able to see what I'm doing. That's the point. Where are my glasses? There they are. Alright. Just put a little drop of that in there. That's way too much. A little drop in there. And we'll stick this in the water for a minute. Right. I'm slightly concerned that these decals are a bit big for this. We might have to use a bit of brute force and ignorance to make them fit. I'll just take a cotton bud and just jam that in like that. And I'll put my glasses on so I can actually see what I'm doing, which would help. Yeah, those decals are way too big. They're much bigger than the actual recesses they're supposed to go in. But once again, you're not going to be able to see them once they're in there, so it almost doesn't matter. You see, this is one of those things, and I've mentioned this before. You can see that, if I get the light to catch it, you see that big rim around the edge of clear material? That's the problem. So I think what we'll have to try and do is trim that down a touch, which is going to be absolutely hilarious. I think what we'll do is we'll do it like this. We'll just sort of snip around it and get rid of the worst of it. Because it's way too small to cut all the way around, but we can get rid of some of it. I'm going to drop this in a minute. You watch, it's going to go twanging out of my fingers and we'll never see it again. Let's hold this in the tweezers and see if that makes it any better. Or indeed makes it worse. Right. That should be a bit better. Let's try this one. Right. Let's pop that one in there. Try and get it somewhere near straight. And once again, we'll take our cotton bud and wedge it in place. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, that was definitely the move, doing that. Right, and now we have this one, which I think again we'll cut this down to make it fit. This one's a lot easier to cut because it's rectangular. There we go. Right, pop that in the water. Oh, I've dropped it. Oh. Oh, talk about yourselves for a minute. Come here. Yep, that's it. Dropped it again, but I found it. Come here. Oh, you little rat bag. Come here. Oh, good grief. Right. We'll try that again. Right, we need a bit of this. glasses so I can see what I'm doing. I can really see what I'm doing even when I'm wearing the glasses, but still. And we'll pop that in there, like that. There we go. Perfect. Right, we'll seal that with some lacquer. And in fact, we'll seal all of the interior of the cab, and then we'll start putting this thing together. Right, while that lacquer's drying, I'm going to turn my attention to some of the other bits, mainly the lights. So we have two side marker lights on the front here, and we also have the tail lights on the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint these lights with some silver paint, because they're like white marker lights. So I'll just use a bit of silver on them just to doll them up a bit. Just like that. And we'll try and do this one without touching the first one. Because we've all done that, haven't we? Painted one bit very carefully and then stuck our finger in it. Stop laughing at the back. Right, and we'll do these rear lights as well. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm just going to paint like the tops of them like that. And then I'm going to put some red, some clear red over the top. So we'll let those dry, and then we'll put a bit of red on those. Right, while we're waiting for that all to dry, I'm just going to turn my attention back to the wheels for a minute. I apologise for bouncing around, but again, I have very, very limited time to do this, so I'm just kind of jumping all over the place. I've given them a quick lick over with some gloss lacquer, and now we're going to use some of this panel line just to pick out some of the details on the wheels. So let's see how well this works. Right, that doesn't look too bad, does it? I'll do the rest of these. Like I say, they put a lot of detail onto this, and it seems a shame not to kind of show it off. But there you go. And what we'll also do, I'll do the other ones of those in a second. We're going to also put the, I just gave the front a quick lick over as well. So I'll do this off camera, but I'm going to put the decals on the front and back as well. And then I think we've just got the rear lights to do, and then we can start putting this together. Let me get these decals on, and then we'll go on from there. Right, one final thing before we put this together with the windscreen. I did also on the rear window, I just masked up and painted the bit in the middle, so it's black on the inside and green on the outside. I just masked that and painted it with a brush. But for the windscreen, we've got the windscreen wipers here. So what I'm going to try and do is do them with this this chrome pen, which should be hilarious. So this is a 1mm pen, but I really don't know if I'm going to do this or whether I'm going to make a complete lash up of it. But we'll see if I can do this. doesn't look too bad, does it? I hope you can see that. I can barely see it myself. Right, let's try the other one. But the trick when you're doing this, and it's not as easy as I make it sound, is just try and just let the very tip of the pen touch the surface. But there you go, that doesn't look too bad, does it? We'll give that a minute to dry, and then we'll start putting this thing together finally. Right, I think we can start at long last putting this thing together. So we might as well put the windscreen in while we've got it. So that goes in like that. I'll put a little drop of glue on there. When people say you can't use this stuff on clear, you can, you just have to be very careful. Just put a little drop there. And a little drop, oh that's way too much. When I said be careful, I meant don't do that. It's fine, everything's fine. There we go. Right, I'll put that down. Let's get the front and put the lights in. Right, now these go in like that. This is the big test for this model, because I haven't actually dry fitted any of this together. So this is going to be the big test of whether this thing actually goes together or not. Right, they need a little bit of brute force and ignorance. In fact, you don't even really need any glue on them, I don't think. We'll put a little drop in the middle just for safety. Like that. That looks all right, doesn't it? Then we want this, because we need to put that on there like that. Actually goes together quite nicely so far. Little drop of glue there. Little drop of glue there. Might just put a little drop on the top here as well. Just for a bit of belt and braces. Right, and what I'm also going to do, got the joy of trying to use this Revel contactor without it going everywhere. There's the one we want. This one goes on the bonnet, or the hood. And what we'll do is we'll try and get this on here without it going everywhere. Oh, this is the problem with these bottles. It's now just decided to start wicking out of the top, and it's just going to go everywhere. That is the one problem with these Revel contactors. I'm kind of curious whether anyone else has that problem with these, because it's like sometimes they work fine and other times they just do that. And it's an absolute nightmare. Right, we'll just pop that on there. Try and make sure it's somewhere in the middle. And we'll put that to one side for a second. Now, I suppose I really ought to look at the instructions a little bit and try and figure out vaguely how this goes together. I'm looking at them wondering why they don't make sense. I've got them upside down. Anyway, so now we want the chassis. And we want this, the back of the cab. Actually, before we put the back of the cab on, we'll put the window in. There's the window. Right, and that goes in like that. Again, a minor amount of brute force and ignorance, but not too much. Just put a little drop of glue to hold that. Right, now, this goes on first. And we need to get that under there on both sides. Get in there. Right, that goes like that. I really think that should be a bit more upright. I won't tell you again. Oh, no, the other side popped out. Of course it has. Of course it has. Right, something like that. And put a drop of glue in there. And a drop on the other side. And what we'll also do is I'll put a little drop down here as well, and that might help us just get that into that final spot that it needs to be in. Because I'm fairly sure that that needs to sit kind of vertical, which it isn't quite. But we will continue and see what happens. What could possibly go wrong? Right, then we want the seats. And they go in like that. And put a drop of glue there. And a drop on the other side. Like that. That seems fairly good. Okay, we can put that to one side for a second, because what we need to do now is assemble these two pieces. I'm kind of following the plans to an extent, because I just want to see how well it actually goes together according to the instructions. Because again, it's one of these things that if you're building this at home, you know, with your kids or whatever, how well is this gonna go together? And the answer so far is not terribly badly. It's not going too bad at all, in fact. There's a few bits that need to kind of be squeezed, shall we say. A bit of the old brute force and ignorance. But on the whole, it's not going together too badly. There we go. Let's close that gap up nicely. We'll put a little drop of glue there. And I am doing this in a very haphazard fashion, as you can see, because I'm in a huge hurry to get this finished. Right, now we need to put this on here. Right, how does that go? Like that. Yeah, like that. Oh, that actually goes on really well. Literally just dropped it on and it went into the right place. Put a bit of glue there. And a bit there. And then I'll put some there. And we'll put some on this side. Like that. Wow. This is all going swimmingly so far. I'm very impressed so far. Of course, the real fun is going to be the next bit, which is putting the sides of the body on. But what we'll do is we will quickly put our side windows in. So we want this one, is it? I think, yeah, that one. So that goes in there. That goes in there, I said. There we go. Again. Some of these bits almost snap together, which is kind of nice. Right, that goes like that. Where's the other side? There it is. And t'other window goes in this side. Like that. It wouldn't be too much trouble to actually make these windows open. Put that in there. Right, and now I think this is going to be the crux of this, is getting these sides on, because these are either going to go on really easily or they're not going to fit at all. So let's see. Right, you go like that ish. Yeah, see, this is the problem I thought we were going to have, is this back of the cab isn't strictly vertical, but again, a moderate amount of brute force and ignorance. Right, let me have a look at this. I think this front's moved. Yes, it has. The front's moved, that's why it's not fitting properly. Right, the back's lined up, that's lined up. Right, we're having a little bit of an issue here. Because that is in the right, the side is in the right place, but now I can't get the front to line up properly. There's something going on here, and I'm not sure what it is. Oh, come on. I think the problem is, oh, doing that for a start. Right, you've got this bit here. I don't know whether you can see that. There's like a bit here that is designed to fit in here, and it follows along here, and it's struggling for some reason. Okay, let's try and get this in again. Ah, there it goes. There it goes. After a fashion. Okay, let's try and get... I'm just wondering if it'd be easy to get the other side on first. and then try and glue it all together. So yeah, what you've got is this shape here and this shape here, and what they do is they locate in here and then here. So this is where I thought we would have some issues, and it's kind of going together ish, but it just needs a bit of finagling to get it into place. Right, let me have a little play with this and get it put together, and then we'll put some glue on it. Hang on. Right. Okay, so I've got that in, and now it's the same as on this side. It's getting this into here. Do you know, I'm just wondering if it would be easier to put the sides on first and then put this on afterwards, but I'm not sure. Right, what is stopping that from going in there? That is now in the wrong place. Oh, come on. The trouble is, it's very difficult to see in there, to see why it's not going in. Just drop that on the floor. It's fine, everything's fine. Right, so these two bits are in the right place now. We just need to get this into place as well. And I think it might be easier to do it like this. Right, that one's gone in. This one hasn't quite gone in. But we're not far off. Ah, I think that's got it. That's close. Okay. Right. Right. We're almost there. This is a little bit trickier than I thought it was going to be. The rest of it went together really well, but I did think putting these sides on was going to be the tricky bit, and it has indeed turned out to be the case. Okay. Now let's get some down the side here. Right. Whew. Let's try and get this back gate on. actually goes on quite well. Bit on this side. Okay. It's just trying to get this back of the cab into place. It doesn't want to go where it needs to go. It's just, you can see there's just a little bit of a gap there, so that's something you're going to have to be careful of when you're putting these together, is making sure that back is exactly vertical, otherwise it won't fit properly. But that's not too bad. Right, let's get the let's try and get this roof on. Right, that's not too bad. Oh, except there's a big gap there. Why is there a big gap there? Right, we need to get that to hook, because there's a bit on each top of each door there, and I think that's meant to hook into here. So, although that does look like it's in the right place. Because what I'm trying to avoid doing is making any modifications. I just want it to, I want to see how well it fits together just straight out of the box, because that's obviously how it's intended to be built. And this is, again, with this being a starter kit, you kind of want it to be, you know, easy to build. Ah, there we go. That's got it. Right. There is a bit of a gap there, but we'll see if we can close that up. There it goes. Go on, get in there. It's not terrible. There is a gap there, but... Right. Wheels might be a good idea. Right, now. So these ones go on the back. Are these going to fit? I really hope they do. Oh, it looks like they do. That's nice. Oh, that one did anyway. Let's see if the others do. Yeah, that one's gone on as well. Touch of glue there. Touch of glue there. Now, let's see if the front ones go on. Oh, I think it will, with a bit of persuasion. Right, let's get some glue in there and in there, and then hopefully we can just there. Perfect. What's wrong with that? Oh God, let's wrap this thing up. Right, so here is our finished article. Didn't come out too badly. I mean, I wanted to build this very quickly because I didn't have a lot of time. And I also was very curious to see how well it would go together. Some of these starter kits go together really well, some of them not so much. This one has gone together relatively well. Admittedly, I did kind of throw it together, but you know, it is what it is. But it's gone together reasonably well. There's a couple of bits you need to look out for. As I suspected, fitting the sides was a little bit tricky. The decals had those big surrounds, but that's a minor thing. You get around that easy enough. But I do think that generally, for a starter kit, this is not bad. I think Airfix have done a pretty good job on this. It's the kind of thing that, yes, you could build it with little more than a pair of clippers and a knife straight out the box. But it's detailed enough that if you actually spent some time and some care, which I didn't, you could make a really nice kit out of this, I think. So there you go. So anyway, hopefully you've all enjoyed this little foray into madness. I think in the future I might make a little diorama for this. I know I mentioned it before, and some of you came up with some corking ideas. But yeah, we might do a little diorama for this just for a bit of fun. Or I might actually give it to my daughter and let her make a diorama with it, because she's been doing that a lot lately. I'll have to show you some of them because they're really good. But yes, hopefully you've all enjoyed this. As ever, I'd like to thank my top tier patrons, Howard, Amy, Chris and Hawaii Clive O, for their continued support. And hopefully things will settle down a little bit in the future and I'll be able to build some models properly. But anyway, hopefully you'll stick around one way or the other. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers. Bye.